Tonya, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you, Michael.
Tonya McKenzie is the founder of Sand and Shores, a communications, marketing, and sports media firm. She's an international speaker and the chair of the Los Angeles County Commission on Alcohol and Other Drugs. Tonya is a public relations expert specializing in storytelling, reputation management, building community, and increasing brand awareness. Tonya consults organization leaders, sports professionals, and brands, helping them increase their leads, profits, and exposure. Commissioner McKenzie is also the host of the Leaders and Learners podcast, speaking to leaders, experts, authors, and personalities connected to the Golden State of California. How are you?
I'm good. Sometimes I hear that stuff and I'll be like, oh my God, I've done some things in my life.
Yeah, the things you dreamed to become when you were younger and you become today and you're not even impressed anymore. I think
Right. That
that's a
whole
good
thing.
indicator of growth.
I try. I think it's important. That's kind of why my podcast is Leaders and Learners. Hopefully, people are continuing to grow and learn as they evolve in this crazy world, you know?
Yeah, it's so easy to get complacent with where we are in life. We find a structure that works and then we lock ourselves into it and we do the same thing over and over. And it takes like a conscious and concerted effort to keep that education cap on and always be hungry to learn more.
It's just about, and I try to teach my kids this, it's about intellectual curiosity, at least
Mm,
wanting to know what you don't know, you know?
right. And getting comfortable with stepping out of that that like economical comfort area. You know, you have
Yeah.
your set of services, you know what makes your money, and some people stick to it. But I kind of operate under like an 80-20 rule. So like 80% of the time, and I oscillate between them. So 80% of the time I'm like maintaining our infrastructure, and then
Mhm.
20% of the time I'm in R&D mode. And then there are like short periods of time where I'm 80% in learning mode, and then the 20% I try to maintain what I have, keep it
Right,
going.
right.
And, that's when I grow a bit of a beard and I kinda, like, hunker down in my, yeah, yeah. I kind of
And you're
pound
like,
on
"I'll
Red
come
Bulls
out
and
when I've accomplished something." I don't know.
yeah, I would, like, try to, like, pick a new set of services and inch outwards all the time. And, you have to, especially in this environment where things are changing so fast. You can't fall in love with any process, with any method. Stuff like GPT, it's like every 2 weeks, I'm like, "Oh, god damn it, there's a new update. How are my
Or
competitors using this?"
I spoke at
Yeah.
a AI conference, AI for Women's conference, Wonder Woman Tech Conference, actually today. Uh, and just
Mm,
recognizing that so many people are still afraid of new, right? They're afraid of AI. And it's not just the whole like, oh, I think it's going to take my job. It's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't even know where
right.
to start type of mentality. So now I don't know where to start. So I'm just not going to start. Just forget it.
Yeah. It's kinda like how my parents got on the iPhone. It took them forever to, like, get into text messaging and FaceTime and Facebook, and once they kind of just do it, it opens just like, a whole bunch of doors for communication and for being more efficient, and that's kind of how I look at it. It's just one rung lower with AI. So, Tanya, we kind of drifted off. We didn't even completely off script here, but I love it. First of all, how did you get started with your world? Tell me your story, how you got into PR and why PR and how it's treating you.
You know, oh God. So I went to Cal State Northridge. First, I went to Grambling University in Louisiana. And one thing for sure is I believe that people that are from California need tutelage before they leave California because we don't always know how to deal with not being in California. So I went to school in Louisiana, transferred back to Cal State Northridge because I was such a sissy about the humidity and the big bugs. Went to Cal State Northridge. My first internship was handling PR for our health center. And
Mm,
Northridge is in the valley in Los Angeles. And what I didn't know then, because I was such a green person, is that the valley in Northridge was the porn capital of the nation. So our health center was having anonymous HIV testing. We got funded for anonymous HIV testing, and Dr. Strucky was his name. He said, your internship is going to be getting people to know about this testing and coming in to get it. And listen, I'm green, I'm young, I don't know nothing about PR. And he's like, that's your job. Literally, you need to figure out how you tell people and how you spread the word and get them here. Figure it out. So I spent my summer doing any and everything. I'm sure some of it was PR, some of it was marketing, some of it was selling the fact that it was anonymous. But that literally was my first PR job. And from there, everything else I did had some level of public relations in it. So I worked for the athletic department
Mm,
the entire time I was there. Our intramural department obviously have the programs that you can sign up for and pay for. I wound up being a manager, and we don't have a big budget. Anytime you don't have a big budget, you use PR because you don't have marketing
yeah,
dollars. So getting people to understand what you're doing, spreading the word, getting people to tell other people, that's the essence of public relations. So I've been doing
interesting.
public relations since 1995.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. And you said something really interesting. You said that people don't have a budget to do PR. It, to me, it seems like it's the opposite because marketing is more of like you're just thinking bottom dollar, you're thinking ROI, how much money do I put in this process, paid ads and whatnot. Is it worth it? If I get more money out, it is. And if I don't, it's not. PR to me seems like for people who've got more of a longer term trajectory and a broader scope and vision of saying, hey, I want to build my reputation because that's going to bring me long term success. It's less about making money today. So I find that an interesting perspective. And it's likely because, everyone approaches an industry differently.
Here's the deal. Marketing is you telling people how amazing you are. PR is getting other people to tell other people how amazing you are. And
I love that.
although marketing is what people are used to, right? So now you're talking ROI, PR, you could actually do yourself by just being a good person. Because if you're a
Yeah.
good person, other people are going to be like, Michael, cool, you should call him. You should, you have a story? Michael's podcast is dope. It's not me saying or you saying, "Hey T, I'm cool. My podcast is
Yeah.
amazing. You should
I like
come
how you,
do a thing."
I like how you frame that. So, and I imagine PR is really all about who you know, building your network base, building and fostering good relationships. You must be a really good people person. And just from talking to you for just a few moments, I feel that energy that you're a very bubbly, you're a very uplifting person to be around and speak with. I feel it. And a part of that is possibly carved from your experience in the industry, whether you might realize it or not, right? We become, the things we focus on building. And I wonder how you're navigating that element because PR is very person centric. And then we're injecting AI into the equation. So pulling back to that AI conversation, and to some degree, and I say this to other people, that like not using AI for specific industries is almost considered malpractice. It's like it's so important to getting those just initial frameworks, initial bits of information to carve out your plan or to calibrate or to mitigate some of that grunt work. And we have this duality here where the person, building personal connections is still so important, but you have this tool in front of you that's like this PhD level student beside you, available whenever you need. So my question to you is, how do you navigate these two elements, and how are you leveraging AI within your industry?
Okay. So, I think part of being good at public relations or any position really is being authentic, being who you truly are. I have some publicist friends that are not super bubbly, but they're great writers, right? So
Mm,
they are very skilled in writing or connecting, but they're not the best in person. I am authentically this way. Like I've tried to be mean, okay? I've tried to not like people. Being a hermit is fine with me also. However, this is naturally who I am. I've been this person since I was a kid. So, being able to utilize my charisma, personal fortitude to continue to stay connected to people, that's something I'm able to bring into the profession. But that's why being authentic is huge Now, when we take it into the AI realm, here's the deal. Public relations is also hard, right? It's you have to be consistent. You have to stay on top of you have to stay top of mind with people so that
Yeah.
they remember that you're the person they should call or you're the resource they should lean on or whatever the case. And you're doing that also for your clients. Again, not everyone is likable. Not everyone is out front, face forward. When you're talking about AI though, you still have to use authenticity because I use it to help me organize my thoughts. I don't have it do my work, but I will help it organize my thoughts. I have a lot going on. I also write. So I write for Urban Magazine and a few other publications. I freelance. It'll help me get my ideas together.
Mm,
It also generates ideas, right? Helps me research. But we all know you can't just put out something you get from AI. You still have to fact check it. You still
right.
have to make sure that it is applicable to the audience. So part of public relations, a big part is knowing your audience. You can't just put something in ChatGPT or any of the other tools and it gives you something for your audience. You have to know your audience. So you take what it gives
Yeah.
you and you make sure that you utilize the technical skills that you have to be able to make it apply to whatever your outcome is. I will use it for ideating. I will use it to start my research, but I still have to fact check it because remember, it gets its information from what's out in the universe on Beyonce's website, internet. So
Yeah.
I still have to fact check it because people have bad information out there also. And
Mm,
I've caught bad information almost as much as I've caught good information. So that
yeah.
authenticity piece of it is what people hire publicists or anyone else for. That's like watch some of your podcasts. If you're a weirdo, I'm not trying to be on your you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
matters. Even when
Well, I'm glad
people
you're here.
yeah, I'm glad I'm here too. But even when people pick, let's say, an artist to create some graphic, you should have at least researched what their work looks like so you're not
Right.
surprised at the output. Everybody is not going to like everybody's style, everybody's output. All of those things matter. And with public relations, the biggest goal is to get people to know, like, and trust you so that you can get them to know, like, and trust your clients. So if you come
Mm,
off inauthentic or pretending or robotic, there are people that are not going to trust you or anything you say or put in front of
right.
them.
Yeah, well said. I mean, it sounds like what I look at AI in this sort of way where we all have a uniqueness factor, what separates us from even our competitors.
Yep.
And and then you have noise around it. You have grunt work. You have stuff that you can patternize and delegate. And you were very spot on about AI, where it's like it just collects information from the internet. It's precisely the aggregation of all content online, and it operates within that safe zone. Look at it as being like your safe B plus A minus student. Now, the way I look at it is that you should be leveraging AI to mitigate that noise, to
Yep.
allow you to double down on what makes you unique. So instead of having to like do the grunt work, instead of having to filter through information, instead of having to organize information, you're coming in there with saying, "Hey, I have my uniqueness factor. I understand what article would be a good article. I understand, what my audience wants, and GPT will help me get there quicker." That's kind of how I see it, and yeah, I mean, we're just really at the precipice of where this is going because, I mean, eh, it's amazing where as far as we ever will be, and tomorrow that'll be the same thing. We're gonna keep getting farther and farther and farther, and the changes that the awesomeness that we feel today with natural language processors like GPT is gonna be absolutely boring in 3, 4 months from now. And it's like, you use the last version of GPT and you're like, "Oh, this is horrible." But you forget that, like, just yesterday, this was the coolest thing you were looking
Right.
at.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, on a broader scale, think of being able to send a message across the world in just an instant. Like
That's
300 years ago, they would burn the witch for saying that that would be possible. And today we get a text message a message that's going from one place in the world to another and landing in the palm of our hands, and we're not amazed every time.
And
So
we have
yeah, these things are just
cars that are driving themselves.
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time to look into Tesla. I'm not a financial advisor, but and so so here's the thing. You mentioned the difference between PR and marketing, and I really liked how you broke that down in that analogy. And a client comes up to you and they're saying, "Hey, do I need PR? Do I need marketing?" You know, there's this like duality of, "Hey, I want to make money, but I also want to build influence." And you could do both at the same time, but it's really two different methods. How do you explain to someone the value of PR over marketing, where it's not about making money today, it's about positioning yourself that you're an authority? So when people Google you, you look notable, you look like you do incredible work. Sometimes it's hard to demonstrate the value because certain people think in dollars. How do you kind of deal with both the duality of building influence versus chasing money?
most of the time, I start with, "Who are you and why should I care?"
Hmm.
If you cannot explain to me
By the way,
why
I didn't do that thumbs
I
down.
know
I don't
you
know
did
why.
they have
I'm
this.
sorry. Yeah.
No, listen,
I wasn't thumbs downing you. I'm thumbs upping you. I love what you're
these
saying.
computers are crazy. They'll be like, "That was negative, Tanya." They were telling me that was negative, but that's literally
Yeah.
how I start is, "Who are you and why should I care?"
Mm,
Because you need to be able to tell your story. And if you cannot
right.
tell your story, we have a lot of work to do. So you can sell your services, yeah. But if you want to stay top of mind with people, meaning if they don't need your service right now, but you want to stay top of mind so that when they do need you, you're the person they call, that's your PR. But if you're a
Mm,
right now person, because public relations is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It is,
mm,
what do you want people to know you, remember you, think about you as, right? It's not immediate. So if you want some immediate results, every time that's going to be marketing. However, when you do PR, in the case that you get some coverage, media coverage, then you get to use that media coverage for your marketing. So
right.
you do need both, but it's a matter of how and what comes first. So one thing that I do a lot of educating younger publicists and PR and comms professionals, and I have to continuously let them know, even though it might be a little frustrating because you just want to get in there and do the work, educating the educating the consumer is important. It's
Mhm.
still
And
important.
sometimes they want something and they want a press release, and that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
And that's fine, but also press releases have changed. Are they as useful as they once used to be? Depends on where it's going and what you're using it for. If you're using it
Correct.
to pitch, then there's that, right? But if you think you're going to just send it to a bunch of newsrooms and they're going to cover you, but you still don't even know how to tell your story well, or
Yeah.
you get coverage, but you don't know what to do with it, or your systems, your infrastructure, and your business isn't set up right to deal with it, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well said. Now, I want to ask you about a certain idea here where you were talking about, helping people understand the value of PR and marketing. And here's the thing. Let's say someone's just a really good athlete. They don't understand PR. But the way this world works is you're usually defined by your weakest component. And you'll even have technologies that will fail in the market with far superior positioning, R&D, and far superior of a product to a company that just knows how to market better.
Mhm.
And you're seeing this also generational gap where you probably have these, you know, Gen Z athletes that are extremely good at controlling the narrative, at, selling themselves on TikTok. They understand the language of social media. And then you have someone who's been focusing on honing in on his skills, mastering his craft, doesn't care and doesn't understand social media. But he's going to lose to the person who does. Is this something you see commonly in your industry?
Absolutely. But that goes back to educating, right? That's
Right.
great that they understand social media in the moment. But if you're looking to build a legacy, this is this is the direction you should go. And it comes down to goal. I mean, again, if you need immediate results for something, that's marketing. Okay? We can find influencers, we can do all the things to get you some immediate results. But if you're looking to continuously build your legacy and you know that you have ideas for what next stages look like for you, then it becomes that's fine. They know social media. Let's continue to have you out in the community doing the things that garner a higher level of respect, a higher level of credibility, because that instant social media fame dries out quick. And they're starting to learn
Right.
that in real time. Dries out quick.
Mm.
I think AIO and AEO and the AI search models and being able to be found, I would have them, put in a question about themselves to see what those results are that come up. Do you like that? Are those things that you like? Because if you're
Yeah.
concerned about being relevant on social media, so you're doing goofy things for clicks rather than doing quality things for
Right. Getting
brand
yourself in a
value.
good editorial that
Yeah,
indexes in the news tab is
right.
something that
Be-
GPT will index.
right.
Right.
So it comes down to goals. Really, it does. And those that are really focused on building legacy, even outside of their sport, they start thinking bigger than just in the moment. That's when they're more bought into leaning completely into PR rather than social media
Mm.
marketing.
Tanya, how can people get in touch with you?
I don't know, just no way. No,
No
I'm
one's
on
no
my
one's ever said that before.
no one ever said
I don't
that.
know.
No one wants to talk to me. No, one thing I think is important is that we stay consistent. I'm Tonya McKenzie PR on all social media platforms. My company is
Mm.
Sand and Shores, sandandshores.com. All social media platforms, it's the same. And if ever on Instagram recently, I've been doing a lot of running my mouth about some things because people will say, give me your PR perspective on this." So if you ever want to just do a deep dive into what's PR or how do you people say, how do you PR this? Or I need a PR. We're public relations professionals or communication professionals. But any of that, if you ever want to chat about that, just hit me up. You can DM me, listen to me rant on Instagram. And I also have a Substack. It's called Control the Narrative. So I love that you said that a little while ago. And we talk about how you control the narrative and how people are out in the world trying to control their narrative or failing at it, by the way, or failing at it. So Control the Narrative newsletter on Substack.
Tanya, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, I appreciate the time. I enjoyed my time with you, Michael, and please stay in touch.